Actually, give me. Never
Oh, my
mind.
bad.
You're good.
Hey guys, welcome to the We Are Freaking Live. Hey guys, welcome to the Superherocuts podcast, where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Comic Cuts, bro. How you doing today?
I am good, man. I'm so pumped to be back. How are you? How was your Christmas?
Good, man. Christmas was good, bro. Spent a lot of time with some fam, just enjoyed them. Nothing too crazy. How about you, brother?
It was good. It was good. I spent some time with my family as well. We had a good time. Got some Chinese food. That's our tradition. And obviously got in some good gaming, some good movies. Yeah, no complaints.
But have you been on a God of War or no?
I actually haven't been. I've been meaning to pick it back up, and I meant to play it yesterday, but I actually been playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Really?
Yeah, I bought the definitive edition, which is like I don't know, it's not even like a remaster, but it's upgraded from the original.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually been having a blast playing it. I've always meant to replay the game, and ever since the GTA 6 trailer dropped, I've been a huge Grand Theft Auto fan since Grand Theft Auto 3 first came out. And I was that kid growing up that, a lot of my friends that their parents wouldn't buy them the games wanted to come to my house to play it. And yeah, man, I cannot wait for Grand Theft Auto. And Miami is like it's not like it is my favorite city. So yeah, I've been playing Vice City, but the God of War, the thing that's so cool about the God of War DLC that I'm really excited to get into is I actually never played the any God of War games up until the PS4 one and then the PS5. And the God of War story prior to that is supposed to be like really awesome. And I've always wanted to play the originals, but they're so different in terms of the gameplay that I don't know if I would enjoy it. And the Valhalla DLC, from what I've heard, is kind of like a retcon. So it revisits that story and supposedly sums it up. So I'm really excited to get through that.
Yeah, and they're gonna remaster all of them for the PlayStation 5. So I'm gonna wait until they remaster because that's what's coming out early next year or
Okay.
in the next year, and that's when I'm gonna buy them all, and I'm gonna start from the first and that like work my way up.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear because dude, like
I'm hyped.
when people told me, oh, you got to play God of War, I remember I went to pick it up at GameStop the day it came out. I was like, listen, everyone tells me I have to play this game. It doesn't look too exciting for me. I don't think I'm gonna like it. And like I told you, it's one of the greatest games of all time, easily the best
Yeah.
PS4 game. And I think this is the best PS5 game. It's just incredible. What's so cool about the story is that the pre PS4 ones are Greek mythology, but the PS4 and PS5 are Norse mythology. And
Yep.
the main character Kratos kind of travels through different mythologies, so it's
Yeah.
really dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Dragon Trainer, what's up, baby? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good holiday, my man. Hope you're doing good. All right, so we have a few things to get to. I first want to talk about Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2. So uh you haven't seen Aquaman 2, right?
I have not.
Do you mind if I talk about it, or do you not care?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so I I think that most of you probably already saw my review already, but I thought Aquaman 2 was good. I did like it. Obviously I don't think it's better than Aquaman 1, but I think it was a good movie. To me, it was kind of the same plot order, you know what I mean? And I had a really good time watching it. Like Jason Momoa was funny, him and Orange relationship was awesome, and all that stuff. Now there has been a lot of stuff going around saying that Aquaman 2 is flopping, Aquaman 2 has flopped. So I want to talk about that for a moment. So Aquaman 2 did, I think I know they're over $100 million in a weekend, counting the holiday weekend. I think that is a W for DC. I think that's a W for Aquaman because I mean Shazam barely did. They didn't even do 100 million. I don't even think they did 50 million in a weekend. Like Shazam did terrible. Blue Beetle flopped. So I don't really think Aquaman flopped, but obviously, like Aquaman's box office numbers isn't what it was for Aquaman 1, but I know that right now, as of today, the box office is over 100 mil. So I don't think that's super bad for Aquaman. And for a movie that barely had any type of press, for a movie that barely had a red carpet, that didn't even have an after party after the premiere, I don't think that's bad. And the movie itself, as I said, I don't really think that the movie's bad. Like I enjoyed it for what it was. Mira was barely in the movie. She barely had any type of screen time. Um, and she had a really pivotal role in the last act. And as much as y'all might hate me for it, I think Mira, like I think she was good for what she was, but she was kind of just a body in the film. Like you barely saw her. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. And you can tell that Nicole Kidman's character, Aquaman's mom, played what Mara was supposed to be, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
obviously Nicole Kidman. You grew up with her. We all think she's an amazing actress. Tom Cruise did her mad dirty, but but like Nicole Kidman, I mean, she was great in the movie. But bro, like you can definitely tell when you're watching it, bro, that Orm and Nicole Kidman's character basically played what Mara was supposed to play in that movie. And I think it was cool. My only issue with Aquaman 2, bro, it's my only issue is that no one died, because if we're going to be real, bro, Black Manta carried the whole entire film. And Black Manta was awesome. Black Manta was menacing. He was very cringe in the first Aquaman to me. But in this one, like, you were kind of like, bro, who's going to die? Like, somebody has to die in this film. And I was kind of like, my butt cheeks were clenching a little bit when I was watching. I'm like, oh, like my butt cheeks were sweating. But and obviously, like Aquaman's dad got beat up pretty bad, but he didn't die. And yes, you can make the excuse, okay, Black Manta stole Arthur's son. That should be enough high stakes. But when you make the stakes that high, and when you make the watchers in the room feel like someone's going to die, you have to deliver. And so that's kind of where I felt a little empty, bro, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Uh, you know, it's funny because a lot of people when people talk about like Spider-Man comics, which have their ups and downs, a lot of people will say on like bad ones, like sometimes I couldn't even follow to the point where I don't really know what the stakes are or if I care. And high stakes are kind of imperative to a good story in any superhero story. I mean, Infinity War and Endgame are a prime example of how high stakes could deliver a great story. Obviously I didn't see the movie yet, so I don't know what, the stakes were. But like when I hear that Black Manta is going to be the main villain, I do think that there's going to be a big death, especially like it's the end. I mean, you should have killed someone off. It's crazy that they didn't. Um, and also like the first one, obviously they didn't kill Orm, which I think for that it made sense to not kill Orm, especially because they plan to do more. And the other thing where listen, it's not a constant variable to rule this out as the reason Aquaman 2 didn't succeed so well in the box office. Um, but I have a feeling one key part of that is the fact that Aquaman 1 came out so long ago. And, you know, Aquaman 1 did 1 billion, and this movie is like scraping by, and it's crazy. I think a lot also went into that with the DCEU and people just not being happy with DC's past couple of movies. But, you know, does that say anything for Marvel and Marvel's lack of connectivity in the multiverse saga? It's something I was thinking about last night. I was, browsing through Disney Plus, looking at the MCU, which I, do a lot when I'm trying to pick a movie. And I was just thinking, like, the MCU really needs to deliver right now because what happens if they don't? And like the multiverse saga as a whole is just a failure because that's something that people aren't talking about, but it's a very real possibility right now. And I know there's other times and better topics to get more into that, but it was just something that was big on my mind.
For sure. And just to make sure, so right now, worldwide, they have generated 120 million globally, and in North America, only 40 million. That's really bad. That's like
Right.
that. 40 and you go ahead, go ahead.
I want to say, well, I know 120 sounds good, but like when people talk about box office numbers, people generally talk about the US. So 120 would be a good number for the US, but globally it is not. And 40 mil for the US is not good at all for a superhero movie,
Yeah, because
especially one with Jason Momoa as your star.
yeah, because I was expecting at least an 80 million opening. Like, because I thought, bro, it was gonna be at least a 60 to 80 million dollar opening. Uh, because to me, if they at least hit 60, to me, that's a win. Because if it's 60, that means that worldwide it would have hit at least 200 million. But the
I
fact
wouldn't
that it
call
didn't
it a
even hit
win.
that is kind of
I
sad.
wouldn't call it a win, but like that would be maybe a crisis mitigation.
Yeah, for them at least with their flops, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Dragon Trainer said if no one died, isn't that a good thing? It isn't a good thing when this is the last movie to close out your franchise, and they basically build up the whole entire movie that someone was going to have to go, and then no one does, you know. And the only person that dies in the end, spoiler, is Black. Well, we don't even know if Black Manta's actually dead, you know. So it's kind of like, like I walked out of the movie not feeling like I was completed. By the way, I still like the movie. Like, I think it's enjoyable. I was supposed to see it for a second time today with my dad, but we couldn't just find the right times because obviously we gotta pot it up, baby. But I think it was super awesome. Okay, flopping meaning not doing so good. Yes, so Aquaman didn't do good in theaters. Hungry Almighty. I think half the reason why Aquaman failed is because no one cares. Fans know after this DC is going to reboot into the DCU, and they have the mindset of none of this is going to matter in the grand scheme. Yes, I mean, I think, and I agree. I think DC knows that this is going to fail because so this thing's going to be on HBO Max in the next 2 months, so it'll be
By the
totally
way,
fine.
what if they didn't kill anyone off because they were thinking about keeping some of the characters for the DCU? Which, listen, I think they've ruled that out, and I've said that before. I think that they're going to recast everyone, but maybe they wanted to keep that in the back of the mind. I don't know.
Yeah. So, all right, another Aquaman talk. I want to get to what I want to talk about, bro. Okay. So
Oh, I
I
added.
am
Did you see my additions to this point on the docket? Take a look at that real quick.
yes,
Okay.
yes. 007.
No, no. There's a look on the pot. Basically, so
Oh,
I'll
I
just
see it.
say
I
it here.
see it. I see it. I
Yeah,
see it. I see
yeah.
it.
The
I
other
got you. I got
characters.
you. Okay, so there are a bunch of characters that are rumored to be in the Batman 2. So I'm going to read them. Obviously, we have the title right here, which is Dick Grayson's Robin and Hush, but also is rumored is Clayface, Professor Paya, and Scarecrow. They are all rumored to be in the Batman 2. So I want to talk about the Batman 2 and the whole Elseworlds thing because I really do have a lot to say about this. So number one, Comic Cuts was here when I said this. I said that if Robert Pattinson's Batman doesn't introduce Robin, then I will riot. I will lose my mind because we've gotten a bunch of Batman films with just Robin. And I want to read a quote about what Robert Pattinson said because Robert Pattinson spoke uh on what he would want with Robin being in Batman. So he said this, yeah, saying yes, I want Robin, but he has to be 13. That's the only way I will accept it. No, I love Death in the Family and stuff, but I think it would be so cool. Also, people are so scared of it, but it's kind of exciting. I think it will be a really fun addition. Robert Pattinson has said that he just said just now that he wants Robin in this movie, and the fact that he's kind of championing the fact that he wants a 13-year-old kid to fight crime. I think it's going to be super awesome to see.
By the way, one thing that I'm going to say here is it makes sense because you can't introduce Robin after you've introduced Batman and not have an origin story. Like because that would mean that Robin existed as Batman's sidekick, and we just haven't seen him yet. Having said that, I don't think that necessarily means he has to be 13, and but I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I mean, listen, and this is one of those things that makes it difficult because with the DCU Batman, the Brave and the Bold, they already said they're using Damian Wayne, who is literally a child, and it's probably also going to be 13. And I just think that they need to do things very differently in the DCU Batman movie and the Batman Part 2. And I think that if they do use a 13-year-old Dick Grayson Robin, that's going to be very similar to the age of Damian Wayne, and I don't necessarily think that's the right move. However, it doesn't impact the Batman Part 2 story in a negative way. I just think that strategically for Warner Brothers and DC, it's not the right move because you need to have those movies, be very different. That's all.
I disagree. I do not agree.
Uh,
Every time I say every time I say that, we always laugh. Every time either me and you say, because we never not agree. But I
yeah,
disagree because,
I
bro, I
thought
mean,
I made a great point. I thought I made a great point because hold on, real quick.
yeah,
So
go ahead.
strategically, I'm not saying it impacts the movies in a bad way, but I'm saying strategy wise, you want to have these movies different for a number of reasons. Number one, you don't want them to have be too similar and people feel like they're getting the same movie. Number one. Number two, you want to diversify. You want to have different Robins, establish the character of Robin in a better, well-rounded way. Um, and also like licensing and everything like that. So there's a number of reasons. I'm sure I can think of more, but I think those are the main ones. But why do you disagree, and why do we keep laughing when we disagree?
Because I don't know, it's just because we're such good friends that we never
Y-
like, or we're always on the same page. But anyways, all right. So I
Yeah,
disagree, bro, because
true.
only because the story of Robin and the story of Dick Grayson and the story of Damien are two different people. I think that in Brave and the Bold, we're going to be getting a lot more of Ra's al Ghul, the Lazarus Pit. I think that Brave and the Bold is going to be more like, I see Brave and the Bold being, we're not going to be in Gotham the whole entire story, if that makes
Okay.
sense. And I think Brave and the Bold is going to be one of the first Batman films where we're not in Gotham. I mean, we're always in Gotham when it comes to Batman movies until like
Yeah.
BVS, which a lot of that was in Gotham. So, you know,
Right.
we're going
But
to
it
see
wasn't a
Batman
Gotham
somewhere
centric
else.
movie.
Yeah, and I feel like with Robert Pattinson, and this was on my mind for like the whole day that I wanted to talk to you about, because if you think about it, right, and this is what I think Elseworlds is going to play, because I was kind of just reading. I was going through all of James Gunn's tweets. I was reading the news about Matt Reeves working on the Batman, and I think I found the purpose of Elseworlds. I think I finally understand what they're trying to do. James Gunn is using the Batman to build the lore leading up to Brave and the Bold. So basically, the Batman. So when we watch Brave and the Bold, right, and we see Nightwing Robin, right, and we see Jason Todd, or if we see Damian Wayne, James Gunn wants us to say, "Oh, how did Nightwing become Batman's sidekick? Let me go and watch the Batman Part 2, and I'll watch the origin for Robin." And I think that what he's going to do with the Elseworlds is he's going to use that to build more solo centric projects that are built on the origins and the lore of the character. And I don't think it's going to be for every single character, but I think it's like going to be for certain characters that he might not want to build up to, like in his main DCU, but those stories can make extra cash and those stories can be super popular.
It
So,
makes a lot of sense
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
because when you're, say a new Batman, 12 issue comic event comes out, and most of the people reading that comic have read Batman comics, and we know the Bat family. We know these characters, and because we do, it makes it more enjoyable and easier to connect with the characters. And you know, it's funny because I was thinking about this also last night. Like, there is a comic book that Chip Zdarsky wrote, and it is, I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's like 5 issues, and it is a Spider-Man story, but it's not about Peter Parker as Spider-Man. It's what if Peter Parker symbiote never left him and he ended up becoming Venom. And I think that and the what if stories are such big hits because we love these characters so much and we always think about who they are, and because of who they are, what would they do in certain situations. And what if kind of turns the characters on their head and be like, well, what if this happened? And it's really cool because, we're always imagining what characters would do in different situations because of who they are and, how they're written. And one thing that I always talk about with, Marvel is how successful they've been with their Spider-Man strategy. There's so much Spider-Man content. I hate using the word content. I feel like content is such a terrible word because it's like saying filler. So I'm going to start using the word material instead of content. I think it's a better word. Anyway, there's so much Spider-Man material out there, and it's consistently coming. It's consistently good. That even if you don't read the comics, you could watch any of the Spider-Man movies, play the games, and these characters because they've done such a good job over the past 2 decades with Spider-Man material. And I think that, DC hasn't really been able to do that. The only character they've kind of done that with is Batman. There's just been a good amount of Batman movies, Batman games, the Gotham TV show. So actually, yeah, they've done a pretty good job doing that with Batman. But they did that without the Bat family. And, I think James Gunn, probably understands what I'm talking about way better than I do. Someone like me notices this kind of stuff, and he probably has a word for it. I call it strategy, or I think I've called it something else in the past. But yeah, like and it's interesting because and further proof of that is that when Spider-Man Homecoming came out, they didn't even do an origin story because they were like, people know the origin of Spider-Man. We've told that story so many times. Whether you read comics or not, you've at least seen the Spider-Man origin story play out 2 times. You've seen it in Spider-Man from the first Sam Raimi. You've seen it in Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. We don't need to tell it in Spider-Man Homecoming. And Spider-Man Homecoming was a major hit, and they didn't have to do the origin story. So if this is the route that James Gunn is going, which it very well could be, awesome. I still think all of that can be done, said and done, with Dick Grayson, who is 16, 17, maybe even 18. I think 13 is a little young. I hope that's not the case. Listen, it's not a deal breaker. I'm sure the Batman 2 will be fine if Dick Grayson is 13, but I would prefer, late teen, early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of Pattinson's Batman giving us the origin to Brave and the Bold, because that's really what I think he's doing. And bro,
Yeah.
and honestly, I think this Robert Pattinson Batman is going to go all the way to like Jason Todd. Like that's where I think it's going to end. That's where I think Pattinson's Batman is going to end. I really think he's going to get a 6-movie deal. And I think that's where he's going to end.
If they're doing, there's no way they're going to do Dick Grayson and then Jason Todd in 3. But
gotta be 6 movies.
Yeah. What's really cool about Hush is that they hinted at Hush in the first one.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me just get back on Robin 1 second, because oh dang, it was just in my head. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, because and the other other thing, bro, that came to my mind was the idea of like, we see we see the Nightwing, right, in Batman Brave and the Bold. Then we see Robin, then we see Dick Grayson Robin and Robert Pattinson's Batman. And and as I said, I'm not going to try to justify that for every single character, because for Superman Legacy, that's not going to be an origin story. We don't need to see the origin. But Supergirl could be an Elseworlds movie.
Are you sure Superman Legacy isn't an origin story?
No, it isn't. No, because I'm pretty sure James Gunn said it's like year two Superman or something like that. Because
Okay,
it's about him trying to like find himself in the world or some ish. I don't know.
but
I read a whole thing about it,
and not to get too deep on it, I do think that
but
it would be smart to at least do a flashback on Superman's origin story. I don't think
yeah.
fans are as familiar with Superman as they need to be to completely skip the origin.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there could be a flashback, but I don't really think they should go back to the origin. I mean, as I said, I do think Zack Snyder tarnished Superman, but I don't think it's gonna be like. I think everybody knows his story about how he got his powers and stuff. But I mean, if they flashback, I could care less. I just love Superman in
I
general. But yeah, so
Yeah, I think they listen. This is their chance to finally cement Superman as the popular hero that he should be, because it's crazy that he's not that popular.
he should be more
Um,
popular than Iron Man. He should be the most popular hero ever. But literally, he should be the most popular hero of
yeah,
all time. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It's like it really is crazy, like how badly he's been managed, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't think Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. I don't think everyone's seen that. Like, in our world, yeah, everyone has, but like casual moviegoers, no.
Superman was my gateway into superheroes. Like the animated
Man of Steel
Superman.
or okay,
No, I'm talking about like Super Friends, bro. Like Super Friends was the reason.
right?
Like that's how I got into it. Like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
pops used to force me to watch Super Friends, and that's how I became a Superman fan. And then I started watching like the old school anime, like the 1980s, like where color just came out, VCR. Like my days bought me all the
Oh,
freaking VCRs, and
yeah,
then I watched all the live action, like with Christopher Reeves, and like those are the greatest things in the world to me. The Superman Return, like so, you know, I can't wait to see
yeah,
Superman. Right. So, all right, let's go do some of these chats. Okay. What would happen if they used the same actors for the DC reboot? That's a L. I don't want to see anybody being reused.
yeah.
Anybody. But the DCU, yes, they are going to reboot. This movie might
What
have to
if
be rated R.
Pattinson?
The You said what?
What if they were going to use Pattinson for the Brave and the Bold? Would you be cool with it?
Yeah, because he wasn't in the DCEU. That's why.
Okay,
I don't want
okay.
anyone from the DCEU back, including Gal Gadot. As much as I love her, no. Put her in Star Wars or something. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, you could get a 16-year-old actor to play Dick Grayson, but could pass off as a 12-year-old. Yeah, true, true. I
I don't
want,
know about that.
I want. I mean, Tom Holland, he did it, but dude, I want a 13-year-old Dick Grayson. I think it can be pulled off. Um, yeah, I think it literally can be put off. We've literally seen teenagers knock out grown adults, and it looked pretty realistic. I think there's a way
Yeah,
to do it.
I still
But
want the
hold
kid.
hold on one second. But here's the thing, though, and this is my stipulation, though. For Dick Grayson to be able to come into this movie, Pattinson has to grow like a million times over as a character and as Batman, which means Robert Pattinson's fighting style needs to be more polished. Like in the Batman, if you guys recall the movie, Pattinson takes a lot of hits when he was fighting. That cannot be a thing in the Batman 2. Like his fighting needs to be levels above everyone else. His thinking needs to be levels above everyone else. His mission crafting needs to be levels above everyone else. And I feel like when I was watching the Batman, his reliance on Gordon was a little too much for me. So I need to see a lot of character growth if Dick Grayson is going to come in because Batman is teaching this boy how to become the greatest detective of all time. And in the Batman, he was not the greatest detective of all time. If we're being honest, Batman technically lost the battle. He lost in the movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Gotham got flooded. He lost. So, and I believe that's for a reason. And I believe Matt Reeves is going to grow him as a character. But the undertaking of growth is going to be insane. Like we're literally going to be seeing basically a whole different character in Batman for this to work with bringing in Robin.
Yeah. You know, I also didn't think there was enough action in the Batman. I think it was kind of like a drama, but I really did enjoy the combat in the Iceberg Lounge. Like when he stormed in there, and up until he met Penguin for the first time, I mean, he like I mean, I forget, he like threw the gun back in his face. I mean,
It
that
felt like
was
you're
like
reading a comic
raw.
book. Like it felt like you're reading a comic
Yeah,
book in that scene.
yeah,
My goodness.
yeah.
All right. DCU bats will have Robin consistently as a secondary main character, while Reeves bats will have Grayson as a cameo in the second movie. In the third movie, he becomes Robin in the final battle. I think he's going to become Robin in the end of the second movie because that's the way it should go. Robin comes in the end. Pause.
Interesting. I kind of see it being a bigger part of the story,
Yeah,
and I could see him becoming Robin by the middle of the movie. Actually,
I agree. I
I think they want. I
yeah
think they want to show them teaming up as Batman and Robin in the third act. That's
yeah.
kind of what I was getting.
Matt Reeves is doing with Batman to me is Pattinson to me is what they wanted Val Kilmer's Batman to actually be. And I feel like they're taking a page out of that book, but not in the sense of a bad way, but as when I say that of like how hard they involved Robin in that movie, that's how I think they're going to involve him. Not in the
Okay,
plots,
I
but
see what you
just
mean.
how much they're going to involve Robin
Not in the
as a
plot and
character.
style and tone of the
Yeah.
movie.
But just how much they involve Robin in the writing and in the plot of the
Yeah.
movie, that's how I see him being involved. I almost
Okay.
thought Robin was going to be that kid that died in Batman 1. All right, wasn't Dick
Mhm.
Grayson supposed to come out in Brave and the Bold? Dick Grayson will be in Brave and the Bold, but he's going to be Nightwing, which is an older character, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
By the way, I cannot wait to have Nightwing in a movie and see what they do with Nightwing. And I hope that we get at least a Nightwing Max series. Like, Nightwing deserves his shine. The thing for me with Nightwing is that, and Steve, you could probably talk about this better than I could because it's his number one favorite character. But, DC Comics has been trying to make Nightwing, like, especially after the Dark Crisis event, which I think was like last year or 2 years ago, they've been trying to make Nightwing the main character of the DC comic universe. And, I think that that's always been a challenge for them because how do you make someone who was Batman's sidekick ever be the main character with how overwhelmingly popular and dominant as Batman is? And I'm not saying I want to see Nightwing be, bigger than Batman in the DCU, but I at least want to see Nightwing standing on his own in Bloodhaven, which for those of you that don't know, Bloodhaven is a neighboring city to Gotham. That's where Nightwing fights crime on his own. And I think that would be really cool to see. I mean, at least a special presentation. And I do think that it's coming. I think the kids at the DCU, James Gunn, is smart enough for something like this. And I'm sure that DC wants it because if they want to make Nightwing more popular in the comics, what better way to do it than give him, his own series in the DCU?
yeah. Let's read his chat. My prediction is that Reeves Bats will have two trilogies where the sixth and final movie ends with the death of Jason Todd. Casuals don't know about Todd, so this could get the audience emotional. Yeah, I think the Jason Todd story in the Batman might be one of the biggest, like that's gonna do $1 billion. I ain't gonna hold you. That
In
would be crazy.
Okay, yeah, that would be crazy.
Like
And
that
we
would
know the
be
Joker's coming. Which, by the way, we know the Joker's coming, and now there's a lot of villain talk for the Batman Part Two, and no one's talking about the Joker, which means the Joker is probably going to be in Part Three.
yep. Or maybe the last six. Or I'm sorry, but maybe the last three
No,
films. Maybe the last
I
three
don't think
might be
they
Joker.
introduced. I don't think they introduced Joker in Part One to not at least bring him in Part Three. And by the way, I think I think that if you don't show the Joker or very little show the Joker in Part Two, like I think it would be more than appropriate to have him be the main villain in Part Three.
But why would you do that if maybe the theory might be the last six is about Jason Todd? Wouldn't you want to make him be the focus for those three?
Well, I don't know. First of all, there's
If this is true, like
there's no
I'm saying
word that there's
theoretically,
six.
I'm saying theoretically, like if that's true, yeah. But anyways, but yeah, all right. Dragon Trainer Damien will be Robin. DCO. We will all know if Damien is Robin. Yep. Nightwing needs to have his own HBO. Oh, yep, just what you said. Yeah, I would love a Titans project. You're lying. They did not just drop the episode of Percy Jackson.
Yo,
What?
Brendan, come on.
What? Oh God. All right. Next. All right, we're on to the next topic, guys. So
we just skipped
Spider-Man.
all the other characters. We skipped Hush.
What you mean?
We didn't talk about. We barely talked about Hush or Clayface or Professor Pig.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Brendan, you got me distracted, but Brendan, if this happens next week, bro, you cannot bring this up again, bro. I get so distracted. Okay. So, all right,
Brendan, I'm going to shadow ban you.
Exactly. All right, first off, bro, it's so funny that they're bringing up Hush because I remember, bro, when like before they announced the Riddler, but they just announced the concept art. I thought that was Hush at first.
I don't know if I saw it.
Like, well, they just dropped like what the Riddler will look like without the name or any logos.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Hush.
Okay. Yeah, kind of. You know, I saw someone respond to me on Twitter because I tweeted. What did I tweet? So I wrote, rumor is that Hush is the main villain for the Batman Part 2. I really hope this is true. It's a great choice and would rule out the most boring villain, Mr. Freeze. I got an interesting response. I disagree. Riddler in the Batman was already Hush-like and would essentially be rehashing a similar villain. Of course, I don't know why I even care because I will probably skip this one. The first was boring as fuck. LOL. Okay, so obviously the end of that is irrelevant because he's in a very small minority. And I think everyone here or watching this, will have been someone who'll say, I love the Batman. Having said that, I don't think he's so wrong on Hush being a similar villain to the Riddler in Part 1, but I really like the idea of doing Hush. I think, first of all, the Batman was always supposed to be focused on the detective side of Batman, which we never really saw in live-action movies. So what better way to do it than introduce Hush? The other cool thing about Hush is that the main Hush storyline that is the famous one, involves a lot of other villains. So it's easy to involve other villains. There's other villains being named, and I think that everyone would enjoy the Hush story. The difference between Hush and Riddler is Hush, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone because if you're watching this and you're someone that doesn't read comics and watches us for the cliff notes, or you want to learn about the movies and the comics that are connected to them to read them, like I really don't want to spoil Hush for you because Hush is one of the greatest comics of all time and you should absolutely read it. So spoiler alert here, and I'm not even going to fully spoil it because I don't want to ruin it for anyone, and I would like you to continue watching us without worrying about something being spoiled. But minor spoiler, the character of Hush is someone who is very connected to Batman's past. And I like the idea of the Batman exploring the Wayne family history. And I think in the end, they're also going to explore Gotham's history with the Court of Owls. And I think that the Hush story is a great way to progress Batman's skills, his detective skills, and his combat skills, while getting into the lore of the Wayne family history and Gotham City history. And I think it's the perfect segue into the Court of Owls. And I know I just said the Joker thing, and I hope the Joker comes, but I would love to see the Court of Owls way over the Joker. Listen, I love the Joker. Everyone loves the Joker. But we got a lot of Joker, and we've never had Court of Owls in a live action movie. They are incredible. It's a secret society that has been controlling Gotham, for the longest time. And what's really cool in that comic also, and again, minor spoiler because I don't want to spoil that one either, because that's also up there in the best Batman comics. But what's really cool about that is that when Batman hears about the Court of Owls, or kind of first learns about them, he doesn't believe it because he's like, "There's no way there's been a secret society controlling Gotham, you know, behind the strings this entire time, and me, Batman, didn't even know about it." And then he was shocked to learn that he was wrong, and he felt really off his game. So, listen, I think Hush would be an absolute banger. Yes, it might be a little similar to the Riddler, but Hush is such a cool character. Reeves is a fantastic director. Pattinson's a great actor. I think they could deliver it. I think people really like the Riddler, and there's not a lot of superhero detective like movies. It's not, so I don't think, even if the villain is somewhat similar to the Riddler, it's not like a redundant type of story. I don't think people would be disappointed by it. And also, take it as a diss or don't. I really don't care. But you're selling this movie to a ton of people who actually wanted Mr. Freeze for the villain. So they'll be happy with Hush.
So I actually see the first part of the guy's point. Not that it's boring, but with what you just said, it does sound very similar to the first film because Riddler did link to the past of the Waynes and so
Yeah.
so I don't really think Reeves will go that route. I think Hush is going to play a part in the assassination of Dick's parents. I think Hush is going to. He might even be. I think someone. Oh yeah, what's the name? Hungry Almighty even said this, that maybe Hush could be holding Dick Grayson hostage, and Hush could be orchestrating a whole entire operation with Clayface and all these other characters, even the Joker. He could be initiating this whole thing to take down Batman, and I think you could do that without touching the family of the Waynes, because it would make me feel like I'm watching the first one from the last time, or the Batman one, and
Yeah.
I think that the Joker playing a B-list role or a C-list role in this movie is good because, like, I would love an intro scene to where we just get like an intro where Batman's like on a chase with like the Joker. That'll be freaking awesome. You know what I mean? And then he just ends up in jail, and then obviously he's gonna come out again, like you're watching the
Well,
animated
he's already in, as of now, he's in Blackgate, which I think is
exactly.
really cool that he's in Blackgate, kind of in Riddler's ear. The Riddler's going to come back eventually, and probably with Joker. So, I think that's a really cool part of the story. But I do agree. I do think we're going to see Joker out of Blackgate in some way in the movie.
Yeah,
There's
just
no
causing
listen.
terror. Just causing terror.
There's no way they introduced Joker the way they did with that short scene in the Blackgate visiting center, and then after in his cell talking to Riddler in that like deleted scene that they released online and on Max. They didn't. They don't do all of this for the fun of it. Like, they do it for a reason, and it's the same kind of thing when I say with Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Like, you didn't, those post-credit scenes where Venom was in the Spider-Man post-credit scene and Spider-Man was in the Venom post-credit scene. They don't do that for the fun of it. So they're basically telling you that Venom is going to be in the Spider-Man movie, and probably soon, meaning the next one. And I think it's very similar with Batman. I don't necessarily think the Joker will be the main villain, but I don't think that they did that for no reason.
I agree. I agree. So yeah, man. I mean, as I said, I'm excited for everyone to come in. I do not want it to link back to his parents again, though. I'm cool off that, bro. Like, let's get off the parents and I really want to focus on just uh I I think this movie's really gonna focus on like just Batman being a more polished hero. And I
Mhm.
think he's gonna cook. Like, I think he's gonna win in this one.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's see, read some chats. Professor Pig, Hush, and Clayface. And also for like Professor Pig, Hush, and Clayface and Scarecrow. I think they're going to be as a C, D, E list roles to where like I think Hush is going to be running a lot of the operations, and I
Yeah,
see the end hinting like, and we might get an ending to where Hush is talking to the Court of Owls, and they might kill him in jail or
yeah,
something because he failed the. You know how it goes, you know. So
yeah.
that's kind of Ross playing. So yeah, I'm really excited, but let's see some of these chats.
Yeah,
Imagine
let's go
seeing
back. Yeah,
where
I want to say something on Brendan's R-rated comment.
actually hit that now. Go ahead.
So, listen, would it be dope to have the Batman Part 2 R-rated and go completely savage? Yes. Unfortunately, this is a business. Keep that in mind. They want to sell as many tickets as possible. No shot in hell you're getting an R-rated Batman movie.
Yeah, that would kill like a lot of the fan base right there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are kids. All right. Imagine a scene where Hush has Grayson, excuse me, as a hostage. Since Clayface and Hush might be in it, you would be inspiring off the Hush comic where Clayface Hush had Robin as a hostage. Yes, that's what I'm referring to. I think that'd be super awesome. Um, this might end up darker than the last movie. Oh yeah, it's gonna be way darker, bro. Way darker. Clayface, Hush, Robin, and Catwoman in the Batman 2. What if the Batman 2 is a combination of Batman Hush and Batman Dark Victory?
I can see it. Listen, I don't care what anyone says. The Batman one was predominantly based off of Long Halloween. So it makes sense for the Dark Victory story. And I do think that we might get uh, a Hush story, but in the Dark Victory style, if you get what I'm saying.
Agreed. Agreed.
By the way, another thing with the movie being darker and Batman's progression, the crazy thing is that obviously Batman wasn't as polished as we normally see him in the Batman, but the one thing he was like savage level angry, and in the end he was like, I think he was a bit more calm when he cut himself down from the rafters to jump into the flooding and help each other. But I do think that that anger is going to translate into a savage level fighting style in his combat, and he is going to be absolutely ruthless in part 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think Batman was very emotional in the first one, and I expect to see Batman. And while we're here, we might as well get to how's this time to Bruce Wayne's development. So I think this ties in the Bruce Wayne's development, bro, because Batman was very emotional in the first film. Like even when he took that adrenaline and he just punched that guy to like darn near death, at the end of the movie, like Batman, like one of his biggest weaknesses was his emotion and his anger. And I think that anger, I think we're gonna see, because the one thing about Batman is he always puts the mission first. That's kind of character Batman is, and it doesn't matter who it is. If it's Damian Wayne, if it's Dick Grayson, if it's Clark Kent, it don't matter. The mission
Mhm.
always comes first, and so I think that's the kind of Batman that we're going to see. Because to be honest, the reason why Batman lost in the first one is because the mission didn't come first. His revenge came first. His anger came first. His lust to smash Catwoman came first.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, and as I said, I think that like Matt Reeves has built like the perfect, because these things didn't make the movie bad, but Matt Reeves perfectly constructed this Batman to be where we are expecting more from Robert Pattinson's Batman, and the payoff that we're going to get in the next 2 to 3 years is going to be insane, because
yeah.
Batman had a lot of flaws in this film, and obviously it was done on purpose, which is awesome. So yeah, man. That's why we think that having characters like Hush and Clayface and Joker, they're going to drive Pattinson's Batman to a point that we have never seen in
Yeah.
any Batman film. Like, Hush is a ruthless character, bro. Hush don't give a frick about nothing,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro, Bruce Wayne could be walking with like Alfred, and Alfred will get sniped in the freaking throat, and Hush will just get up and walk away. That's the kind of person that Hush is. He'll kill,
Hush is
and
he's like burn it all down.
yes, and Hush is, and I imagine, and you probably agree, Cuts, that Hush is going to make people be like, I don't know who's going to die. Like, I don't know. Anybody at
Yeah.
any moment can die, because that's the kind of character that Hush is. And I advise you all to watch the animated Batman and Hush movie, because that thing is freaking riveting, bro. It's on HBO Max. Just check it out, bro. It's fire, 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 fire.
Which one?
That's how there's an animated Batman and Hush movie
Oh yeah,
on
there is.
HBO
I
Max.
forgot about that.
Fire, bro. And even when you're watching that, you're
Let's
like,
see.
bro, anybody could die at any moment. So,
Yeah.
let me see. All right, let's get to the next topic. So, okay, so Spider-Man 4 is coming out in 2025. It was supposed to come out next year. because that's supposed to be some of the movies to come for Secret Wars, but it is not coming out next year. So I'll get my thoughts on this. Look, I think Comic Cuts and I have said this before. We think it's a good thing that Marvel Studios is pushing back the movies because they need to fix what's going on internally. And Spider-Man is always going to be the cash grab. Spider-Man is always going to be the most popular character in Marvel. So take your time and write it. Excuse me. I don't really see this movie being bad by any means. And with the rumors about it adapting the Devil Reign story and having Daredevil in the comic book, the fact that we might get a Daredevil and Spider-Man team up film, bro, it gets me very excited to see what's going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, I have no problems with this movie coming out in 2025. I was expecting as much. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I'm shocked it's coming out in 2025. Like that is much earlier than I expected. It's W, and especially like it's going to be a drought 2024. We're not getting a lot of Marvel. So a Spider-Man movie, nice touch.
Yeah. 2025 is going to be maybe one of the biggest years for movies that we've seen since that run we had where Aquaman, Endgame, Infinity War, like Captain Marvel, did like 2025 is going to be that kind of year for us as comic book fans. Let's see. If Spider-Man 4 comes out in 2025, then how ironic is that in 2025 we're going to get the big three of all superheroes, Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man all get a movie in the same year. That's crazy, bro. They're going to be pooping out $billion films. It seems like, man. All right, it's just going to feel like we're back in 2017 again.
Thank God.
All right, Venom 3, 2024, Deadpool 3. Yes, we'll be covering those. Don't really want to cover Venom 3, but whatever. Okay, Young Avengers movie in the works at Marvel Studios. Why the hell is Marvel still trying to do this?
Yeah, I mean the Young Avengers roster is trash, and listen, I think that this was part of the plan before. Hopefully, like I said, this course correct. We talking about might be a myth, and they might not be doing it, but like this seems to me to lately. There's been a lot of things that happen that seem to be like you know what people accusing people of doing, and people are just like, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway. And Marvel is no stranger to criticisms for putting their agenda into their movies, and even their plans. And um, I don't think there's one male hero on the Young Avengers roster, not one. Okay, and aside from that, like the characters on that roster, um, some of them are pretty good. Okay, but I don't think that they're good enough to warrant their own movie as a Young Avengers movie. Um, I think people are more concerned and focused on the fact that they're not even so happy about the roster for Avengers 5. And why aren't we seeing characters like Shang-Chi? Why aren't we seeing, characters like the Druid on the Eternals? There's so many other characters that we would rather see more of than the Young Avengers. Um, Moon Knight, perfect example. Daredevil. Yeah, I mean the list goes on, but it's just crazy. This is crazy to me that this is what they're doing. Like nobody wants this. Okay, nobody wants Young Avengers. And if I don't even believe someone if they're going to tell me that they are excited for a Young Avengers movie. Straight up, I will not believe them. I
Yeah.
think that there are people out there that are just happy with the agenda that Marvel has, and because they're happy about that agenda, they're going to pretend that they like a movie like this. And it's a shame, And listen, I loved the first Captain Marvel. I really did. Okay, I love Miss Marvel. I really like Yelena Belova.
Same here.
I really like Kate Bishop too.
Same here.
But I don't think that, and as someone who likes a lot of these characters, I'm not excited for the Young Avengers
Yeah, I don't want to see Isaiah Bradley, bro. I'm good, bro. I don't want to see Isaiah. I never was a fan of him.
Well, I don't think he is on the Young Avengers.
But he was shown in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and basically the consensus that it might hint to him in Captain America: Brave New World that he's going to be like one of the up and coming guys. So
okay, yeah. Like also, by the way, like the Thunderbolts, like why don't we see characters like U.S. Agent in a post-credit scene? You know, like there are so many characters that they don't introduce that are kind of cool, and then we never see them again.
They could have even been in the Marvels, like or something. I don't know, like they could have been anywhere.
Yeah. So it's just wild to me. Like they should be focusing on the Thunderbolts. And by the way, a lot of these leaks that we see are intentional. As I've said before, I work for one of the most popular shoe brands in the U.S. And what I could tell you is, and I'm a big sneaker collector, a lot of times you'll see, if you follow, sneakers on social media, you'll see like, oh, this Air Jordan collab leaked, and you'll see like a sketchy looking photo. That's not a leak, bro. That is intentional. These brands do that, and they do that for a reason. They do it to hype it up. They do it to test how people, think about the shoe. Maybe they're going to change it. A whole host of reasons. So, a lot of these leaks that we get about what's going on with these movies are intentional, and you never know what the reason is. It might be to hype it up. It might be to test the waters. But you know what we haven't seen any leaks about? Thunderbolts. It's crazy to me. That's like one of the best movies they should have coming in the pipeline, and nobody's talking about it. Not a peep.
Could have even had them in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and by the way, I think Thunderbolts has the potential to be like a surprise hit the way Guardians of the Galaxy was. I really do.
What if when the American spy dude, I forget his name, but what if when the American guy, whatever, got
U.S. Agent?
No. Like, what if in Wakanda Forever they went after Namor too? Like that, like there's little parts that they could have put like the Thunderbolts in, or what if they were coming at Wakanda, like because of the whole entire UN stuff? What if they started going at Wakanda? I mean, there's a lot of things you could do that they're just not doing. So yeah,
they're just not as like. I don't want to say they're not creative because we know they are, but it seems like there's no effort in creativity to galvanize hype in the way it should be.
My brother, I 100%
in the way they should be. Yeah,
I agree. And lastly, for the last topic of the night, we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four's movie description because I thought it was very interesting. I wanted to read it off to you, Comic Cuts. Photos. So this is what it says here. Matt Shackman's Fantastic Four is, or has been described as, a cosmic adventure with multiversal implications.
That is a good description. Like that is what it should be. It should be cosmic, and it should have multiversal implications. So that is a major W.
Yeah, bro.
I think we're gonna get the Fantastic Forecasting very soon.
Yes. That, and we're also going to see that Superman suit in March.
Oh shit. That's dope.
Because someone commented, they said, are we going to see anything before March? And he said 0% chance you won't see anything before March.
Okay. Yeah, I really hope there's no underwear over the pants.
I want the trunks, bro. I'm pro trunks.
The trunks are just a euphemism they use to sell it. Okay,
all right, we're not going to do this right now, but just know when he wears those trunks, we're going to debate this to the end of the earth. But anyways, all right, Fantastic Four. So I think that this is also because the Fantastic Four never really went cosmic in the older ones. I'm really excited to see them travel through space and all that stuff. And I think it's gonna be. I have no problems with this happening. I am really excited to see the Human Torch, bro. I'm really excited to see Mr. Bro, I'm just so excited for this movie. Whether it's Pedro Pascal or not, I am really hyped to see just them on screen. And one thing I hope about the Fantastic Four, bro, is that the dynamic hits, bro. Like I hope that the
Yeah.
dynamic is just freaking amazing. So yeah, I am really excited for this movie. And with it being cosmic and with Galactus and Silver Surfer and my also the other cosmic entities that we're probably going to see. Um,
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Like I wouldn't be shocked if like what if the Fantastic Four end up in the MCU and we might end up running into like the Guardians and we might see Rocket talking like there's just so many like different possibilities that can happen. So yeah, man, I'm super excited for the
Yeah,
the
me
scripture
too.
for them to go cosmic.
The thing that's so cool about the Fantastic Four, and like all of them are such awesome characters. There's not like each one of them are exciting. Each one of them adds to the dynamic, and you get the best of everything with them. Because they're fun, they're exciting, the sci-fi is great, the humor is great, the action is great, the emotional depth is great. You really get the best of, I don't want to say both worlds, all worlds. And I'm so excited for this movie. I want to talk about this because I think that like there's two things I want out of the Fantastic Four costumes. Number one, I do want them to be kind of athletic looking, like the
I'm
way
gonna
the
go pee.
Spider-Man.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, the way like the Spider-Man suit looks, not the main parts, but just like the detailing with the lines on the suit that kind of looks like athletic, but with a bit of the retro like 50s and 60s touch, if that makes any sense, if you could envision it. I wish I was an artist and I could draw what I'm talking about, but I'm not. My handwriting is crap. So yeah, and all right, let's take this one. Hungry Almighty. Any MCU movie that has nothing to do with the multiverse should release after Secret Wars, Blade, Thunderbolts, etc. Should be after Secret Wars unless there are multiverse elements. Listen, I kind of thought about that too. Um, that's not how it works in the comics. I don't think it has to be that way for the movie. I do think it would be better if most of the movies could serve the multiverse story. I think there's been too much of the MCU that hasn't been serving the multiversal story, and I think that's a big part of the problem. But I don't think they necessarily need to throw all of it out. But I do think that overwhelmingly, overwhelmingly, yeah. Anyway, it should be in most of the movies should be serving the multiversal story. Um, but yeah, I don't think Blade will be in service of the multiversal story either. Um, I said Sue Storm and Reed Richards will be parents in the movies. They said yes, and that means we should be getting Franklin and Valeria, which are also awesome characters. Franklin is the most OP character
A
in
savage,
the
a
Marvel
savage.
universe. Savage, brilliant. So that should be awesome. Hopefully, when they announce the Fantastic Four casting, they include the casting for them. I have to imagine that they're going to be young Franklin and Valeria to really make the Fantastic Four, uh, the four of them shine. You can't have Franklin and Valeria be adult age yet. Hopefully, that's coming down the line, but not for a long time. And let's get to this one. I was expecting the Fantastic Four to come out in Ant-Man 3 because I heard they get their powers from the quantum realm. So they don't get their powers from the quantum realm. They get their powers from a mission that went wrong in outer space.
Yep. And we're
Yeah.
probably not even gonna see that origin to be honest. And when it comes to costumes, because
I think
I
there'll be a
love
flashback
costumes.
of that story.
Oh yeah. When it comes to costumes,
Yeah.
bro, it just needs to have the four on it. I don't care. You can go
I
simplistic,
so
you can go classic, you can like you can't get the Fantastic Four costumes wrong if you have the logo on it. Like I've seen so many Fantastic Four concept art. I was just like, you can't get that wrong.
Did you hear what I said about
What,
the
bro?
costume?
That what you
Oh,
said?
I wasn't sure if you heard when you were in the bathroom, but I was saying they should have. Um, so I would like to see like kind of like the athletic lines on it in the way the Spider-Man costumes had, especially like the upgraded suit, the black one. But not like the main lines of the outline of his
You're
red
talking about
webbing,
like you're
but
talking
like
about like
the
the lines that go like here. You're talking about.
yeah, and
I get what
on
you're
like the
saying.
side of the leg, the detailing.
Like
So
a
something
tracksuit.
that's like athletic. Yeah, exactly. Athletic like a tracksuit, but with also like retro 50s, 60s, like OG Fantastic Four styling. I think that would be like really cool. But obviously, I don't think Fantastic Four ever did they have trunks?
I
I
gotta
think they
remember
did.
what did Krasinski look like? Let me see.
His was I liked his outfit and I love the color of it.
Let me
I
see.
think a lot of people are hating on it though.
Nah, his suit was awesome. Oh man, that was sweet. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
And the color, by the way, that is like the perfect cobalt blue.
Yeah, man. I would like some white in there though. I would like to replace the black with white though.
I
Like,
would say some of it, but I like the black.
yeah, I'm looking at these concept bars. Oh, man, these concepts are so
Maybe add
fire.
like white lines as accents.
Yeah, I like it. I'm really excited for this Fantastic
Yeah.
Four movie. So yeah, man.
By the way,
Yeah,
one thing, if it is Pedro Pascal, like that is such a downgrade from John Krasinski. It's not even funny. And I'm not saying Pedro Pascal is a bad actor, but in terms of a choice for Reed Richards, like that is a
it's
bad
yeah.
choice.
It's an odd casting more than most, but like
Yeah.
Pedro's so great of an actor that he'll do a good job. Like we know that, but he was never
Yeah.
our first, second, or third choice for Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Just saying, John should have been the guy, but it's whatever. So
And by the way, like there are other roles for him that they could find in the MCU.
he
Like,
could have been Doctor Doom.
yeah, he could have been Doctor Doom.
He got the
I
voice
don't
for
think
it.
he was the best choice for Doctor Doom.
He got
Yeah,
the voice for it. And he already played the Mandalorian. I mean, he'll be oh man, he would have been fire as Doom. But yeah,
yeah.
but if Killian's the guy, then I,
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
I don't want nobody else. Him or Adam Driver. If it's
yeah.
either of those two,
But
I'm good.
Julian has the face for it too.
Dude, he's a savage, bro. He's a
Yeah,
he's such a good actor. So all right, we're going to end it here, guys. Obviously we're going to be recording next week, which will be the new year, our first episode of the new year. This year we're ending at 949. So let me check to make sure we're at how many subscribers we have. Right now we're ending at 949 subscribers. Probably have over 950 by the new year. Just want to tell you guys, we grew over. So we started the year at 400 subs. We're ending the year at over 900 with over 900 subs. Our channel's just grown so much this year, and we hope to grow even more. And give you, as I said, giving you content. So I do want to talk about a few things though. We do want to expand as a brand. So we do have a few channels that we have cooking up. So gaming cuts is going to be something that is going to be coming next year. I know action cuts is going to be getting
don't
off
give
the
the
ground.
names if we don't have the channels built yet.
Oh, I
So
already
we don't
do.
have the tape. Okay, cool,
I have them all built. Yeah, so gaming
perfect.
cuts, that is there. Fantasy cuts is there. Action cuts, that's gonna be more where comic cuts is because comic cuts is really an action guy at heart. He's a big James Bond fan, Mission Impossible, all those types of movies. He's really gonna start covering those and going through the lore there. I'm more of the
Yeah,
fantasy, so I talk Percy Jackson and all of that stuff, and him and I will also be collabing on the gaming channel as well. So we can't wait to expand more and give you guys more
yeah,
content that's not superheroes. And just to let you know, I know Comic Cuts talked about this I think a couple weeks ago. But we are going to be covering the boys on this on here as well.
yeah.
So
By the way,
I yeah, go
if
ahead.
there is a movie or show or something that you would like to hear our thoughts on, let us know because one of the things that we're going to be doing is revisiting older movies and reviewing them on those channels. So like I'm going to be doing James Bond reviews, Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne, you name it. So while we're doing those, if there's something you want to see, like let me know. I'm happy to review that movie and do a video for you.
Yep. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. And so yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the content that that we're gonna do for next year. But we just want to say thank you guys. One last comment.
Thank you.
Ryan Gosling should play No, not as Reed Richards.
Hell
No.
Yeah.
No. Nova, I have no problem with, but he should be Ghost Rider. I ain't gonna lie. Gosling is Ghost Rider. That's what I want.
I could see him being a great Johnny Storm.
I can see him as Ghost Rider. Did you see that concept art that they posted for Ghost Rider with Ryan Gosling?
No.
Hold on. I'm about to text to you. I want to get your in.
Is it MCU is it Marvel's concept art or a fan?
No, just a fan, bro. Just a fan. Hold on, I'm gonna send you this, bro. It literally got me. Damn, I'm about to say some suspect.
I know you were gonna
say. Brendan, can you send me that? Because I know Brendan has the concept art. Hold on, I think I have his number. Brendan, let me see. Brendan. I thought I had it. Did I delete it? Oh, here it is. I'm about to send it to you right now. Just sent it, bro. 11 viewers. Holy snap. 8 viewers from X. What's up, Twitter X? We here, baby. Shout out to our X viewers, man. All right, it just sent.
Man, that looks fire.
That looks sweet, don't it?
Yeah.
I will show you guys, but we're gonna get copyrighted because it's another artist, but it's super awesome. I'll post it on my X page. You guys can look at it. No Keanu Reeves, it goes right at Keanu Reeves. Nah, I'm good. But actually, no, Keanu would be a good Ghost Rider. Okay, bye. See you.
I actually see Keanu playing a great Dr. Doom.
Oh, yeah, that'll be sweet. Sweet. Dragon Trainer, have a great new year. Guys, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next year. Peace.
Happy New Year.